What's up, everybody? It's Greg Birch with Delta Financial, and this is the Be the Difference podcast. This podcast is all about teaching and training you on sales, leadership, mindset, marketing, everything under the sun when it comes to being an entrepreneur. And we bring on guest speakers. Today, I have the honor and pleasure of welcoming my good buddy, Mr. Zach Allen. Yeah.
What's going on, sir?
What's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm doing spectacular, man. Spectacular. Those applause never get old.
It never gets old, right? It kind of pumps you up to get ready to talk.
Yeah, it does.
It's really meant for you. It's meant for you to like get you all like, yeah.
Get me excited, get me all pumped up.
Yeah.
So what's up, man?
Well, I'm on day 18 of phase 3. I'm running 4 miles a day and doing 300 push-ups a day and right now, and doing my gym workout. So I'm kind of worn out right now. I'm only eating 1 meal a day. I'm doing
How many calories are you drinking?
So I'm trying to take in about 1,500 to between 1,500 and 2,000, but I'm burning easily 2,200 calories with my workouts. And so
how much weight have you lost?
Say what?
How much weight have you lost in phase 3?
20 pounds.
That's insane.
20 pounds in 18 days.
That's insane.
Yeah. I was about 240, 247, 248. I'm like 228 right now. So
that's insane.
Yeah, I'm actually getting used to having 1 meal a day. At first it was kind of I was like hungry during the day. Like I'm not hungry at all right now. I haven't ate today. I only eat in the evening. And so I have factor meals. So I usually eat two meals at once.
Okay.
So, but like my feeding window is like an hour long, but like it takes me like 10 minutes to eat. I just like shove it down.
After those workouts. Yeah, I would assume so. Probably starved by that point. But
I think after phase 3, I'm going to get on and switch to I'm kind of like on a carb cycling now, but I'm not really doing the carb cycling because I'm not eating that many carbs. I'll do a true carb cycling to try to like pump up a little bit because I can tell that my body's getting a little smaller from all the weight loss. So, and then I'll start going back to really heavy lifting, and I'll start cramming in some calories, but I'll spread it out throughout the day. It'll be a little bit more planned out. So I'm not like gaining a bunch of fat, but I'm building muscle and gaining a little bit of weight. I think the optimum for me would be like 235, 240.
Yeah. Do you feel weaker?
No. No. So when your body becomes fat adjusted, when you're on keto, when your body becomes fat adjusted, it actually gives you a ton of energy.
Yeah.
So I have energy because my body's just burning fat for energy from my body whenever it's done burning all the calories. Okay. And it's keeping me energized. And actually with the push-ups every day, I've noticed that my chest is getting a lot stronger. A lot stronger.
Yeah. I've seen you up on them reels.
Dude, my chest is filling out. Surprisingly, like my chest is getting like really like pumped out, which is good, even though I'm like burning fat. So
yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. I need to get back into it. You know, I do miss 75 hard. I never could get into phase 1. I don't know. 75 hard, I operate well on. Phase 1, I never did it for me, but I know I need to.
Dude, I don't even care about the cold showers anymore. It does not bother me. Like now I take 2 cold showers a day. Doesn't even bother me, bro. And like, honestly, like all you gotta do is you have 10 minutes of visualization, right? On phase 1, a cold shower, and then 3 extra tasks. You already do 3 extra tasks a day when it comes to work.
I know I do.
So like, you just got to write them down ahead of time. Like write them down at the beginning of the day. Like these are 3 things I'm going to do today for business. Boom, 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 done. You're done with your tasks for the day, right? Then it just keeps you focused, right? It keeps you focused. It's your power list.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that it's a good transition right there.
It is. I just lobbed a softball to you, bro.
That's a great transition to, talking about being busy versus being productive, and your power list and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you keep yours? Do you have a specific notebook, or what do you do?
Yeah, I have a notebook. So I have this notebook right here that I
Okay.
have on my desk. And then in the morning, like I write out a bunch of stuff. So one, I write out my manifestations and my gratefuls, but then I also write out my tasks, like the tasks that I have to complete, and then I like mark them off like that.
Yeah.
So, um, it's not a to-do list. A lot of people will write out things they have to do for the day, and it's like a to-do list, right? It's
Mhm.
like, man, I really gotta go pick up my laundry, or
Yeah.
I really gotta go to the gym today. Which, if you're not used to going to the gym, you can put that down. Like,
Right.
you can put that down as something until it becomes habit, and it's like something you automatically do. Then you would take it off. But as long as
Right.
it's taking you forward in your life or in your business, it's making you better. That's how you kind of categorize it. Is getting your picking up your dry cleaning going to do that? Is grocery shopping going to make you better in your life? No, it's not. You have to
Right.
grocery shop. Like,
Right.
eventually, if you don't grocery shop, or at least order some Instacart, you're you're gonna starve, right?
Yep.
So that doesn't count as a critical task, and
Right.
it's something that's not counted as busy work, right? Because a lot of times it's like motion versus action.
Mhm.
um hey man, like, you got to go to your dial day, right? You got to go dial leads, and you're not good at getting on the phone. Like, you despise it,
Yep.
you know you
And
hate it.
you find every excuse.
Every excuse why you can't get on the phones, because this happened or that happened. And so you're like, you know what? Tomorrow I'm gonna do a whole day of dialing. I'm finally
Yep.
gonna lock myself down. So motion is like making sure that, like, your area that you're dialing at, your desk is clean. Like, you're like, I gotta make sure this is clean. I gotta make sure that I have my computer set up with all these things. I'm gonna have my quota on there. I'm gonna have this, that, the other. I'm gonna buy leads. I'm gonna print out my leads. I'm gonna put them on my desk. That's all motion.
Stuff doesn't, not money making activities.
Yes.
It's just waste of time.
The and like preparing to get on the phone. So, like, maybe a good thing would be like to meditate before you get on the phones, or um to do verbal
Affirmation.
manifestations or
Yeah.
affirmations, right? um or maybe just drink, like, slam some early bird or some coffee, right, to like get you some energy,
The bird,
whatever it
back
is,
on the
like
bird.
that's still all motion. the
Yep.
only the only action is picking up that phone, dialing, and getting on the phone and letting it ring. That's the action. So a lot
Yep.
of times people will do motion to prepare for the action, and then they'll do so much motion, like, well, I got to do this too, and I got to do that, and all these things start to go run through your head of how you need to prepare, and you never actually do the action. But then you feel as if, well, I did a lot of work today. You didn't do
Right.
any work today. You did nothing.
Right. And that's like, people send their calendars occasionally, and yeah, they have dialing or they have this and that, but they don't actually do it because they got busy. Oh, they had to go do the dishes and laundry and everything else. Um, Whereas when you put it on your power list, that's holding you accountable. Your power list must be done every single day.
Yeah.
You have to focus on it. And it's funny. There seems to be a competition of who's the busiest and what do they have going on in their life.
Yeah.
And I did so much today, and I've got the kids, and I've got this, and my kids home from school. It's whose life is busier, but nobody's getting anything accomplished. It's a common theme, and it's frustrating.
Yeah.
It's absolutely frustrating. Whereas when you focus on your power list, and you put this stuff down on the list, and you hold yourself accountable to get it done day in, day out. I think it's Andy says what, 5 is kind of your goal. 5, a little bit more is okay, but you don't want to go too much. You want to
Yeah.
stay consistently productive. And then as you do those more and more over time, you form that habit. Like you said, you could put exercising on your power list, but once that's a habit, it just becomes part of your daily routine.
Yes.
And
And then it
you
comes
do it
off your
automatically.
power list, because your power lists are not things that are habitual.
Right. Right.
It's stuff that, like, you have to consciously be like, dude, I got to get this done, and you don't
Yep.
want to do it, but you need to knock it out. Right.
Right.
So, like, for instance, my power list today, my extra 3 tasks today, which I did more, was I recorded, I actually, I'm going to probably do about 5. I recorded 4 podcasts. Okay.
Yep.
This is my 4th I'm recording. Okay. I wrote 1 hour, and I'm writing a book. I'm going to become an author, right? I'm writing my book, and I write an hour a day, every single day. So I wrote today. I um, did 30 minutes of Spanish study. I'm learning Spanish. I've always wanted to learn Spanish.
You're Puerto
I
Rican,
think
bro. It doesn't come
I'm,
natural.
Puerto, I'm Puerto Rican. I'm half Puerto Rican. I don't know how to speak Spanish, but my mom does. So I'm pretty sure that my mom's going to get to a point where she's at old age where she reverts back to just speaking Spanish because she just goes senile. So I'm like waiting for that day. And I'm like, and no one knows how to talk to her but me. And I'm like, hey, mom said she's leaving me everything. so, so, so I want to learn how to speak Spanish. So I did that. And then I do all my posts, which is now becoming habit. So I don't really count that as part of my power list because I still do posts every single day. And then I had a business call with an ads manager that's helping me set up ads for leads and recruiting generation.
Yep.
So, and I've knocked out pretty much. This is like my last thing. Now I'm also gonna. One of the things is after this, I'm going to produce and set up all the podcasts to be put live. So I'm going to do 6. I'm going to do 6 of them today. Right. So when I do those 6, like I'm not counting that as part of my tasks because it naturally has to happen once I record and I have to set them in place. But they were going to have like that work has to get done.
Right.
So,
and I'm going to be real. The power list is something new for me. I normally keep a notebook next to my desk and I keep a running tally of everything that I need to accomplish. An agent calls me and says, I need this. All right, I'm putting on my list, things of that nature. I make a list. And for me, I tend to procrastinate, right? So the power list is for me to pick the most important from those tasks and get it done that day. I come from a background of, commission where I was driven. The more I did, the more I made. And I could wait for all my work to be done towards the end of the week. Like I would just let it stack up. And it's amazing when you have that pile of work to do and that focused work, how much you can actually get done in that time, right? You let it all pile up and you focus and you get it done. So the power list it actually helps you get a work-life balance. When you select the most important task that day of focused work, it won't take all day. Like realistically, if you started at 10 a.m., how long would it take you to finish your power list? Like
3 hours, 4 hours.
Right.
Yeah.
But most people don't do that. They would take those tasks and they would just spread it all the way out and then talk about how busy they are.
Yeah.
And then they're always so behind, the house is a wreck and it just becomes a mess. But when you have that focused work of actually trying to get it done instead of letting it pile up, it helps a ton. And I mean, it's a habit that I'm trying to break. Like I said, I used to keep a running total because that's the industry I used to come in. I would take 4 days off and all of a sudden Friday, it's time to work, make my money. I'm reversing that habit and forming the habit now of using the power list to make me more effective. And it helps in all aspects of life. I can be more present with my children because I knocked out what I need to knock out.
Yeah. And like you can get up early and knock it out, like knock out your tasks super, super early, as long as it doesn't like I can do because I'm doing like one of my power tasks every day is writing in the book. So I'm not used to like writing a book. This is my first book I've ever written. So I'm writing every single day, but I have to force myself to write. Right. I do Spanish. So I can do both of those. I can wake up at 4 a.m. and I can knock out both of those by 5:30, go to the gym, done. You see, I'm saying like, it's like, you can make time for this stuff. And if it's like, well, this is what I'm gonna do tomorrow, like you can write your power list out the day before and write those things out so that and you can like literally plan out your day and how you're going to do it as long as it's stuff that takes you forward.
Yeah.
And so, there's another way that you can actually kind of force yourself to do it. It's called a habit contract. And and what you do is you basically say, you write a contract out with like, let's say a loved one or an upline or a coach or somebody that can accountability partner, whatever you want to call it. And you write out a contract that's like, hey, I'm going to write out every single day. I'm going to do 5 critical tasks that are written out that I select, but are also, verified by my accountability partner. And if I do have a day that I do not complete my tasks, I give $100 to my accountability partner for them to use as they see fit.
Yeah.
And then you sign it, and then they sign it. And we know what that does? It forces you to be like, I'm not losing $100.
That gets expensive really quick.
It gets expensive real quick, right? And so doing something like that would be the leverage that you need to kind of force you until it becomes habit. And then once it becomes habit, then you're just used to doing the power list, right? And you're used to, making sure that you have somebody that's looking at your power list and saying, yeah, those are good tasks to do. Or like, hey man, you put cooking dinner down as your task. That's not a power list task, bro. Good.
Right.
Nice try.
It's something to push you further.
Yeah.
It's like, you got to cook dinner. I mean, especially if you have a family, right? That's something you're going to do anyways. But over time, you're building those habits, and over time, those habits are going to push your business to the next level.
Yeah.
Back to the dialing situation. If you dedicated on your power list dialing and you plugged everything into Ninja, you could just keep going. How much more effective would you be instead of sitting there flipping through every single lead? Oh, this person's 46. What could I possibly do for them? And things like that.
It doesn't matter what you can do. Just set an appointment.
Exactly. It's focused intention. Like you set a goal of, 200 dials a day. That's what you're going to do.
Also, visual representation also helps a lot. I knew a person that would take jars, like mason jars, and put like 200 paper clips into one mason jar, and the other mason jar was empty. And every single time they did a dial, they would take one paper clip out and they would put it over.
Really?
And then what that did was a visual representation of how far you were going.
Okay.
And they just did that if you did that every single time that you were doing dials, and you just did that, man. Yeah. Then all you got to do is just be like, I just got to take this empty jar and I got to put it over here, and I have to do it by doing these dials. Every single dial I do, I move a paper clip over. Boom.
Yep.
Boom. Boom. Yep. And that's a simple task, but there's something about a visual representation of progress that makes you feel like you're accomplishing something, right? So
absolutely. But I mean, the eventual goal is to build up these powerless tasks where they become habits, and it takes your business to the next level. And what a lot of people don't realize is the majority of people that are at the top ranks of whatever industry you're in, they've done this stuff. That's the reason they're there. They've built those habits to get there. People think, oh, they got lucky and whatnot. And you and I have had that discussion about luck before. You just don't see the work that they put in it to form those habits. They've been kicked in the teeth. They force themselves to get through the hard work and build those habits in their business to get there.
Absolutely. So. And the power list, you have to realize that the reason that the power list works and why you really need to implement into your life is because it builds momentum. If you do it every single day, if you're consistent in doing these little daily tasks, you're going to prevent burnout. You're going to make sure that your business is always growing slightly. Like, you don't visually see it, but you do over 6 months, 1 year period of time, right?
Yep.
It's like the concept of like, when's the best time to plant a tree? 10 years ago. When's the next best time? Right now. So instead of being like, man, I wish I'd have started the power list earlier, like I'd be so much further along, and then you don't start it today and you just keep making excuses, you'll continuously be looking backwards as to why I didn't start it. Just start it today, and you commit yourself to the activity, not to the end state.
Yep.
You're committed to just doing the actions and having the faith. And that's where the problem is. People don't have faith. They don't have faith in themselves. They don't have faith that they can succeed. They don't have faith in systems and processes and strategies. They just don't have faith. They lack it. And I'm not talking about a religious faith. I'm just talking about belief in yourself.
Right. Yep.
And when you start to do this, you have to have the faith that you commit yourself to the activity, that over time, you're going to be able to look back over 6 months, over 1 year, and see the massive change and shift and difference that you've made in your life and in your business. There will be growth. There will be progress, and you will find happiness through that.
Yep. Consistency is the ultimate key. I really, really think that is. It's just like losing weight, man. Everybody's like, oh, I went on a diet for a week. I didn't see anything. Of course not. You have to remain consistent. It's just like when you're doing 75 hard, you don't notice daily, but when you go back and you look at those pictures,
when you compare all of them together, like do a reel of all of them, you start to notice it. And by speaking of diet, I highly do not recommend you start off with an extreme intermittent fasting diet like I've done. I've been doing intermittent fasting for a couple years now, so I'm a little bit more adjusted to it, and I've been doing keto for a long time. So I highly discourage anybody from being like, man, he lost 20 pounds in 15, 18 days. Don't do that. Like, start off small. I've been doing 75 hard a couple times, and I've got the mental discipline that I can really push my body and my limits and my mind to push past these things. I would highly recommend just doing a simple diet that you can maintain, and just really, I mean, the first foremost is just count your calories. Just count the things you're putting in your mouth. And that's, I mean, separate topic, obviously, but.
Well, no, but that's just like anything else. It's small steps over time. I mean, looking at my childhood, how I was raised dietary wise, like horrible. Like, I don't think I ever drank water. It was pure Dr. Pepper all the time. But then I started to realize that was bad. Small changes over time, introducing vegetables. Same thing goes for your business. You introduce little things over time, and over time that stuff adds up. And it's constant. It's not like you're ever going to fully make it.
No.
You think you'll ever be done with improving your body? Like, you're chasing it all the time.
Yeah.
That's part of the journey. Yep.
It's a constant, it's life. It's a living. Your day, every day, single day you wake up, you live, and you owe it to yourself. You owe it to your maker, whatever your maker is. It's your God-given duty to live the best life you can. And that means living it to its fullest extent and being the best version of yourself every single day. And that means every single time that you try to put your best foot forward, and you do, you increase your potential, because you get better. Right? With every dial you do and every person you talk to, you're getting reps in. You're getting better at getting on the phone. That means the potential gets pushed out a little bit farther and a little bit farther and a little bit farther. So it should be a constantly challenging process every single day that you wake up, pushing your boundaries. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to your maker. You owe it to your family. You owe it to anybody that ever believed in you, that you're going to do the best that you can possibly be.
Yep. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Put yourself in those positions. And, again, incremental over time, you don't start to realize it. But then when a new agent's talking to you and saying, hey, how'd you do that? And all of a sudden you start coaching them, you're like, whoa, a year ago, I wasn't able to do that. Like, it adds up over time, and you start to see it, but you have to remain consistent. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
So, and the power list forces you to do that, but
it absolutely does.
It's a powerful thing.
It is very powerful.
So, but like I said, that's part of my growth. Implementing that now to really narrow my focus, instead of letting my to-do list pile up and then banging it all out. It allows me to balance my life more. I'm not as busy. I'm more effective.
Yeah.
So I can be more present and get the things done around the house and everything else. So I love it. I think it's a wonderful tool.
And it's absolutely free.
Yeah.
It's absolutely free. You just write out, use a free, use this, bro. Like, just grab something, write it out, and put a date on it, and say, I'm going to commit to finishing these 5 tasks today.
Yep.
And as you finish them, you put a little checkbox near any of them. And when you get done, you put a big old W for a win for that day. And then you go to the next page, and the next page is the next day. And you put another W and another W. And then when you go look back over the month, you get a bunch of W's, and that builds confidence. Because then you're like, man, I can do this. If I can do this for the past month, what can I really accomplish?
Yep.
And
Building that resistance.
it builds confidence. It makes you feel more confident. It makes you want to accomplish more.
Yep.
So
you get comfortable in that uncomfortableness of doing more effective work. You know, all of a sudden you have this list of daily habits that 99% of people don't have because you've gotten comfortable doing it. And that takes your life to a whole new level.
Yeah. Like right now, man, like, dude, my legs are so sore right now because I lifted today and I ran, and I did not want to run, dude. I was like, I'm going to lift today and that's going to be too much for my legs. I'm not going to run. And then as soon as I walked outside, I was like, nah, man, I'm not going to be a piece of shit. I'm going to go run. I committed to running every day just to burn some extra calories and like really give it my all. That's not running is not giving my all. My legs were literally like when I was finishing my run, my quads were like locking up, like Charlie horsing on every time my foot hit the pavement. And I was like, dang, like I was like almost like limp running.
Right.
and I was like, man, that's gonna be so sore. I'm gonna take a massage gun to him tonight. But yeah, man, like it's just like, is it uncomfortable? Yes, it's very uncomfortable. In fact, I hate it. I don't like it at all. But when I get done, I feel great. I'm like, you know what? Hell yeah, I did that. Hell yeah. There's other things that I can do that's even harder.
It builds confidence. Even just, forcing yourself out of bed early and going to the gym. There's mornings I don't feel like it. The baby was up late that night and didn't sleep. You still do it. And you feel freaking great once you force yourself to do it.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah.
So, well, brother, I appreciate you coming on and talking.
Of course, man.
Sharing about the power list.
Yeah, absolutely. Highly recommend it.
If anyone wants to reach out to you, Zach, and they want to learn more or just connect with you and pick your brain, what's the best way they can reach out to you?
Shoot me a text message at 609-610-6484. Willing to chat with anybody.
Awesome, man. And Zach's actually really good about one, being available and getting back to people, and two, coaching agents when it comes to sales processes. So you definitely, if you have any questions, I would definitely recommend reaching out to him. But Zach, thank you so much for jumping on board and having a good conversation. This was a good one. I really enjoyed it. For all of you listening, thank you so much for taking part in listening to Be the Difference podcast. I need your help. I need you to share this content. If you watch it to now, you obviously got value from it and you learned something. Maybe you grew, maybe it changed your perspective. Maybe you're going to apply the power list to your life, which I highly recommend. But I need your help sharing this content so that we can reach more people by word of mouth. You can share this you can send somebody a link. You can share it on your social media, on your stories, whatever it may be. We provide value. We do this completely for free. All that we ask is you do a value-based exchange and you share this content so that we can reach more people, help more people, and be the difference in their lives as well. This has been the Be the Difference podcast. I'm your host, Greg Birch. Until next time, deuces.